I didn't reread, I read. I'd never read them before.
Yeah.
I discovered them.
Jude actually reheard a lot of them as he was doing some books on tape.
I did. I couldn't read. I only had a couple of weeks, and I was trying to read quickly, and I was reading one and listening to another.
He's nutty about research, though.
It's pretty obvious that the chemistry from the film is kind of carrying over to right now.
Guy just turned the camera on and just let us play around for 4 months.
Can I tell you what gets me every time? Get that out of my face. It's not in your face, it's in my hand. Get what's in your hand out of my face. Hadn't met before, and it took
30 seconds.
30 seconds for it to click.
It was absolutely instant. It was instant both in humour and also just in work ethic. We just got down to talking about the part and the piece, and you know, rather than sitting around talking about, you know, what kind of cheese you like to eat, we just got on with the job, and out of that sprung a natural respect and a friendship and a sense of fun, and it hasn't stopped. I wanted my sword stick, and I never damn well got it. I want it.
And I wanted my leaded riding crop. I think we'll get him now. We'll see how the weekend grosses do.
Well, it's for Yahoo Spain.
Yahoo! Love it.
So, well, congratulations for the Golden Globe nomination.
Thank you. What do you think about that?
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
You deserved it, dude.
I'm excited that you're excited. You deserved it too.
Yeah.
What were your main concerns when you knew you were going to play Holmes and Watson? Was it the kill?
I wouldn't have done it if I'd had concerns, to be honest. I think you get to a certain point, or if you're sane and you're still in this insane business, you know, you get to a certain point where you know, you should know when you meet the people whether you're going to enjoy the job or not. And I love the idea of it. Guy Ritchie, Sherlock Holmes, that to me made absolute sense. I could picture where they wanted to go with it. This gentleman playing Holmes, I was intrigued.
We see a tremendous chemistry between the two of you on screen. Was that like what it was in real life too, on set?
We haven't heard that before.
I'm sure you have.
You know what? To me, it is the success of this venture, because that's what was in the books. These guys, they were a team, and Watson's telling these outlandish stories that are as he remembers them, and it's his best friend. They speak about each other in such loving terms. It's like a Victorian gentleman's platonic love affair.
Well, when Robert was here yesterday, he talked to George about the bromance between the two of you, and he wanted you to see this, and he wanted to set the record straight. So, look.
Now, someone was telling me you kind of had a guy crush on Jude Law.
What?
On this set.
Quite the reverse. Oh, in the movie. In the movie, my character doesn't want him to get married because that'll take him away from me. In real life, Jude was calling me last night while he's on his way out to dinner, telling me he missed me.
Well, we're going to have to ask Jude about that when he comes in
tomorrow. You ask him whatever you want. Hopefully he'll tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
He's right. I called him and said, I miss you last night. So he's kind of broken my heart live on TV. What can I say?
But you've been out.
Well, the interesting thing is they met. You've got to go back to the source material, and they meet through necessity.
Yeah,
Watson cannot afford digs.
Yeah.
He's a doctor back from Afghanistan. He's got no practice.
And they're introduced by a third party who strangely thinks they would get along.
Yes, they are.
So that third party, to me, is the most interesting person in any of the books. What kind of, it's like someone who knows exactly the right dinner party to have. Because on the surface, you'd say, well, that's a horrific idea. You'll destroy them.
But also the guy who would know John Watson is straight-laced ex-military doctor and Sherlock Holmes. It's like, I know exactly who you must meet. This is I'm done. This is the team. Good name. Can we call ourselves?
Kids Clever.
Kids Clever. I'd be Banjo Hayworth. Banjo Hayworth.
It's a
pleasure to see you, especially together. I think it's quite important to explore the chemistry between Watson and Holmes. I think it worked because both of you came with an understanding of how the pair should react to one another. Is that the right impression?
I certainly remember knowing that Robert was playing Sherlock and being introduced actually in this hotel.
Yeah.
That what immediately pricked our ears was that there was so much material to get from these two guys who, in these extraordinary situations, but basically who lived together and had to survive together, and you know, who did the washing and who turned off the heating, and you know, he's obviously a nightmare to live with. And for me, that was just there was a plethora of fun to be had.
Have you been talking to Susan? I don't know what you're talking about. I would say this too, that once it was Jude and I, half the pressure was off me, because the two of us had to create the third thing, which was the way these characters interact. And the more uptight, because he's nothing if he's not an uptight guy, but the more he's stretching into these kind of collars and things, if you see my rugby ball and all that kind of like, you know, gentlemanly stuff, the freer I could be to be just a little more eccentric. And then there's times when I'm reeled in, and then there's times when we're just bickering, and almost like, if you ask me, Sherlock Holmes would never raise his voice and start yelling at somebody, but that was our interpretation of, yeah, sometimes they're bickering like two old queens who are wondering what street they want to go antiquing on. But I think that sometimes you just had to dial it up a little bit just so you're touching that high, and then keep bringing it back down in the middle.
Because at its heart, even you know, even if it's our interpretation, the source material is quite extraordinary. It's these two men living together because of necessity, and they've both got flaws, as we all have. They've both got eccentricities, but they're also both rather brilliant.
You're a gambler. They can't necessarily outwit each other. They really know how to ping pong it back and forth. And a lot of it's just personal. I mean, the great thing is they have this case where the entirety of London might be destroyed. He has a marriage pending.
Yes.
I might not make it from one set piece to the next. People are trying to kill me, and we're bitching about it.
But it's more important, yes. Is that my waistcoat?